Hey everybody, I'm back at the Capitol for the start of the 2020 legislative session. We officially start today and session lasts until mid-May. For the next 4.5 months, we'll be hard at work addressing the issues important to you. One of my top legislative priorities for 2020 is dealing with the alarming rise in violent crime in our state. As chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, I will be heavily involved as the legislature considers various proposals to make our cities safer. I've pre-filed a slate of bills to deal with the rampant violence in our cities. The guiding principle behind all of my legislation is the belief that criminals must be held accountable for their actions. Lenient sentencing and liberal probation policies embolden criminals and send a message that there are no consequences for violence. It's no wonder that a recent USA Today study ranks St. Louis and Kansas City as the number 5 and 6 most dangerous cities in America, with Springfield also breaking the top 15. Even St. Joe saw the 7th largest increase in violent crime of any city in America, according to a recent study. One measure I sponsored requires judges to impose prison sentences for people convicted of second-degree murder and other dangerous felonies. Shockingly, far too many dangerous felons are released without spending a single day in prison. These violent offenders will no longer be eligible for probation. They will have to serve their time rather than being free to roam our streets and commit additional offenses. Another bill I'm sponsoring deals with prison sentences for the crime of armed criminal action. If a criminal uses a weapon to commit a felony, they can be charged with 2 crimes, one for the underlying felony offense and the other for use of the weapon. But judges often allow offenders to serve those sentences concurrently, meaning if the person is convicted, for example, of felony kidnapping and gets a 5-year sentence, and then is also convicted for armed criminal action and is sentenced to an additional 5 years, the judge can roll the 2 sentences together and the person only serves 5 years, not 10. My legislation requires offenders to serve their sentence for armed criminal action consecutively with the punishment for the underlying felony. Put simply, if there is a separate crime, there should be separate time. A third proposal addresses crimes committed by organized criminal groups. Similar to the federal RICO law, my legislation makes it easier for law enforcement to combat gang-related activity. These reforms give prosecutors the flexibility to get gang members off our streets before they commit violent acts. These 3 measures focus our attention where it belongs, on the individuals who commit crimes, rather than infringing on the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. This year, we must end the catch and release practices that allow violent criminals to avoid prison and reoffend. Another issue I know many of you are concerned about this session are property taxes on your home. This issue came to a head last summer when residents in my district received unexpected large increases in their property assessment. Some residents saw their assessments double or even triple. In a few cases, assessment notices arrived at the last minute, leaving property owners virtually no time to appeal. I've filed legislation to limit the rate that property tax assessments can increase and to require assessors to give taxpayers fair notice to challenge their assessments. For most of us, our home is our most valuable asset. Runaway taxes threaten the ability of Missourians, especially retirees, disabled veterans, and others on fixed incomes, to stay in their homes. My legislation will curb rising assessments and ensure that homeowners are protected from government abuse. In 2020, I will also continue my fight to establish a statewide prescription drug monitoring program. Overdoses caused by narcotic painkillers and other opioids are one of the leading non-natural causes of death in our state. More Missourians lose their lives due to drug overdoses than die in car accidents. Despite this fact, Missouri is the only state in the nation that doesn't provide physicians with this simple tool to ensure that their patients don't fall victim to a life of addiction. Too many mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, have lost their lives to this horrible epidemic. It's long overdue that we change that. I look forward to advancing these and other causes in the upcoming session. In 1 week, we'll hear more about the governor's priorities in his State of the State address. I won't be surprised if he renews his focus on workforce development and infrastructure. I expect he'll have a few surprises for us as well. I'll be sure to keep you informed as the session unfolds, but please don't hesitate to contact my office with any concerns. You can reach me on my website at the link below, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter for updates throughout the session. It's an honor and privilege to represent you in the Missouri Senate. We had some great successes in 2019, and I look forward to building on those over the next 4 months. Thank you.